Confirm if you can hear me now. Can anyone hear me now? Okay, perfect, perfect. Since I have just talked and no one was hearing me, um, as I was saying, I am really, really excited to be here. And we have come together with different people, different mindsets, and with a new initiative that's inclusive for everyone, not only just founders, but also citizens. So we were asking, as I was saying, just tell us, give us an emoji, tell us where you're joining from, Personally, I am joining from Nakuru, Kenya, so I am hoping there are people from Nakuru here. And also, please make sure you tag a friend who needs to be here. Either it's your auntie, your uncle, your nephews, your niece, anyone in your extended family that needs to be here, anyone who's not technical. I know you've been having so many questions of what is AI, how do we protect ourselves from AI, how do we protect our kids from AI. So we've partnered with an amazing company called Fastech, and I am going to let the CEO introduce himself. But I'm really hoping that you come here to get the knowledge that has been set for us. So please give me an emoji, a thumbs up. Let's make this as very active as possible. So make sure you keep tagging your friends and your family to make sure they can listen to this session and everyone can get the knowledge that has been prepared for you all today. So next up, I want to introduce our guest speaker. So we are co-facilitators with one of my facilitators from Evastec, which we have partnered with them. I'm just going to call him on board. Amazing. I can't hear you, Michael.
Apologies. Is it good? Sorry
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
better. That's better.
Thank you. Yeah,
Amazing. Please tell us who you are, what you're doing, what your company does, and the amazing partnership that we have here so that we can continue to empower more citizens and more families in this initiative that we have started.
thank you. My name is Michael Meshe. I'm the CEO and founder of Evast Technology or Evastech. We're an AI startup that's building AI infrastructure locally available in country. So the servers, the GPUs that power AI, as well as what we call an advanced team, a group of very young and talented developers who are building solutions for businesses and SMEs. Glad to be part of this partnership with Founders House. And I think this thing, it's the timing for this is just perfect. The Jua Hakikisha Linda program that we are starting, that's just to focus on. There's a lot of AI generated content out there, a lot of misinformation and disinformation, and a lot of risks of just being online. And given more and more of the world is getting connected, and for Kenya with its own, I mean, we have elections coming up. We decided to start this particular series, the Joa Hakikisha Linda, just for digital online safety and well-being for families, for young people, for citizens, for the elderly, for businesses, and more. So this is the first in a series of several online webinars that we shall be having, where we pick on different demographics and just show them how to be safe online. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Michael. As I said, we are really excited to be here. I know I haven't talked about myself, so I am Shifra Wairima. For those who don't know me, maybe some of you have known me because of Founders House, but since for the larger crowd and the citizens at large, my name is Shifra. I'm the CEO of Founders House Africa, where we support talents and make sure that we help communities with different initiatives and innovations that are coming. So we are here because you are you are uninformed or might be misinformed with different things. People might be talking about what is AI. Maybe you've had your kids talking about it, and the series that we have started with Michael Miche and Evastec. It's a whole series to train families. We are training youths, we are training elders, and we are also training kids and people with disabilities just to understand what is AI and how it can help them, and also how to stay safe online. As we are heading to the elections period, we need to understand what are the safeguards we need to put on board. before before the elections come in. So I'm going to talk more on why you really need to understand AI and the safety of it. And then my partner here is going to talk more of how you're going to protect yourselves online. So please sit down, relax, and we are here to help you. And we will try the best way and the most simplest way to help you understand what is AI and what you really need to do in this age of innovation and AI. Amazing. Hope everybody can see my slide. I am going to be as very simple as possible, so make sure you be interactive. Send me chats, um, send me chats, and we are going to answer all the questions that you really need. And we are hoping that all the families at large and all the aunties, the uncles, and the extended family at large will be able to understand everything. So, before we begin, we just want to help you understand why you really need this. And at first, we just want to ask. So I hope everyone has a phone. I know we are in that age where no one can lack a smartphone. Everybody is actually using the internet. And now the buzzwords of AI, people are actually getting to it. And most people, maybe you have used ChatGPT or you've used any model that has helped you make your life easier, either at work or maybe at home. Or maybe your kids have been asking about ChatGPT so that they can do their homework. So before we begin, I want us to move in a trance of a few seconds of uh, we have a home, right? So you could just close your eyes and imagine that you're arriving at home in it's a long day after work, and then when you open the gate, your children are running to greet you, right? Because you're a parent. And after that, you're going to make dinner, and everybody is okay. Just the normal routine during the evening. So now imagine somebody comes knocking at your door. They just opens the door without your consent, and they just get in and start eating your food. So that is not consent. So in everyday life, we have been letting um, we have been letting kids use these gadgets at home without knowing what they're really being exposed into, and how do we help them, how do we safeguard these kids that we are exposing them online. So our smartphones are usually the one of the gadgets that are usually used to the entrance to your, how will I say it? So I want to make this as simple as possible. So when you have a home and you have a gate, you can allow someone in by unlocking the door. But you see, when you have a smartphone, it's really hard to know if you're letting an intruder in or not. You don't know if your kids are watching something bad online. You don't know what they are getting from online stations or from websites they're getting into, or what the AI is actually telling them. So we need to understand how we are going to make sure we educate our kids and make sure that they are using these AI models very as safe as possible. So phones are good, and phones have come at a point where we have made a lot of progress and a lot of swiftness in whatever we are doing. So it helps us in our jobs. It helps us with business opportunities. Maybe you do calls. It helps us when you're trying to get a hold of your kid in your family connections, or when you're trying to contact your kid. And also, the AI tools make your life easier. Maybe you're trying to create a program for your kids so that they can study at home. Like personally, I have a teenager at home, and we have been trying to create a timetable for her to read and study online. So those are things that smartphones have helped us in a positive way. But also, something that we don't understand is that these smartphones they bring scammers, they bring a lot of fake news, and that's why we are here. They bring a lot of fake news, online predators who lie to them and they don't know if it's a lie or not. And also another thing is they tend to talk with people that you don't know of, and these people might be people who want to harm them or maybe trying to collect their data. So the question is not about how many people have smartphones or how many people have been exposed, but now the question is the people who are using the smartphones, how many are letting correct information, the right use of smartphones to their kids. So I just want maybe one of you or most of you to raise your hand if your child has ever said to you, maybe, Mom, you're doing it all wrong. It's supposed to be done this way. Or maybe I think let's go as simple as maybe you're trying to turn on a television and you don't know where the stations are. And maybe your kid says, Dad, don't press here, press here. This is way much better. So kids have become more smarter than us. And while technology is moving, kids are moving faster with it. So tonight we are going to learn how to understand technology and how you're going to guide your kids through it without being left behind with your kids. I hope from there everybody is on board with me. Just show me an emoji if you're still listening. Amazing. So, let's say during the evening when you're getting into your home, the first thing you might do is maybe you want to watch football, or maybe you want to watch news, or your mom is using WhatsApp to maybe check in with chamas. Has somebody left the group? Has somebody paid a certain amount? Has somebody left with the money? Such kind of things that's in a normal family. And maybe the teenager is watching TikTok or the kid is doing watching cartoons in YouTube. And for the longest time, we have normalized this, but we have not understood where the challenges are or where the mistakes can come in, because the teenagers who are scrolling on TikTok are the same teenagers who are killing themselves online because they were maybe body shamed, or they got maybe misinformation, or they were cyberbullied, or maybe in those chama groups that you mamas are in, you find maybe a message has been sent in the group chat and you're being told that there's presidential award if you click this link, such things that usually pass online, and you're told forward to many. So this is something that's normal in a normal household. But now the problem is we have been sitting here, but we have not been questioning what our teenagers are seeing on TikTok, what our kids are actually seeing on these cartoon networks that are online. So although we cannot see them, these are usually the invisible strangers who get into the house or into the gate without even knocking, and they just sit down and eat with you without your consent. So what I can say is all this is just part of an AI algorithm that's actually deciding what is to appear next, or what what needs to be advertised. Let's say it's a kid that has been watching a lot of kids documentary, or a lot of maybe they've been doing a lot of dancing, they've been doing a lot of maybe skincare if it's a girl, and the algorithm tends to train it to adapt to the kids mind. So a scammer might be there just waiting for your child to click that suspicious link. Not even your child, you might be the one. You're just a mom, you're going to your WhatsApp group, and then maybe someone sends a link there, kuna pesa inapeana, or there's money being given out. And somebody is just waiting for you to press that link, and maybe your Facebook is hacked, or your WhatsApp is hacked, or something just happens. And you find there's usually peer a lot of spreading of misinformation. So you find there's a lot of stories of maybe the president has said is giving out maybe 1 million to kids who are doing this, or the president is doing this and that, or this and that. And a lot of his misinformation is spreading out like wildfire, um, like fire in a forest. So most of the time, you don't get to sit down and relax and understand if this information is correct or not correct. So companies are trying to collect a lot of data to understand people's habits or kids' habits so that they can send out advertisements. And technology has changed how family used to be, because normally, um, back in the day, it's just family. We could sit down, watch television, and we could wait until maybe a soap opera comes in and we watch it together. We weren't controlled by the algorithm. But now, the dad can watch sports while the mom is just watching maybe soaps, or maybe a teenager is watching their TikTok. So the family has become dispersed. So we need to stick together and try to show parents that these are the things that we need to sit down and understand. What are our kids watching? What are our kids doing in their homes? And in all the homes that are around right now, there is Wi-Fi. So I mean, imagine the vast information that comes with the internet. So the internet isn't about I will go to school so that I can use the internet. It's just right inside our homes. So we need to understand digital safety from where we begin. So I really wanted us to play a little game, but I am going to do that in a few. So a lot of times there's usually a lot of misinformation, and you find there's too many um, these platforms. Like for example, I'm going to use a platform like Phoenix. I usually see one of my aunties and parents usually go there just to check the news, and most of the news they are usually just either they are fake, or they're just sad news, or they're just bad news. And I never understand how that kind of platform usually gets all this kind of information all at once. And it's for the guardians, it's very addictive because you want to know what is going around the world. But now you don't understand that some of this information might be faked so that they can bait you to continue reading, or to continue being in that platform, to continue doom scrolling. So it's like TikTok for guardians, or for parents, or for the millennials, if we can call you that. So make sure you understand that some of these people are just here to get money, and some of this information might not be professionally um, posted. So make sure that every time you're receiving any message that begins with maybe breaking news, or it starts with forward this immediately, or this baiting messages that usually say if you don't forward this you will get cast. I don't, there's usually something like that, if I've not forgotten, and they bait you to maybe repost and maybe sending to more groups. And this is usually a big challenge. You don't even understand if that thing is harmful, but you just send it. So most of these things are usually when we're using, maybe when we're in a family WhatsApp group, and we are being sent all these links, and you really want to support your families because you've gotten uh, a platform that's showing maybe presidential funds, or it's showing other different things that could support your family. So the idea for this program is, when you see this kind of information, you have to sit down, relax, see if this information is true or not. So most of the time when I'm with my family and they see maybe a breaking news, I tell them, before you click that link, you can go on Chrome or Google, and you can Google, is the president giving, make sure you just type it down. Don't be lazy. I know we are in that situation, or in that um, we are in that stage where technology has made work very easy, that even typing has become a very long issue. So I usually advise my extended family and my families, make sure if you see any information, or you see um, any news that are being pressed or being forwarded, make sure you go to your Google and search, is this true? Because that's the only way to confirm. Um, so today the main thing is making sure that Once you get an information, just stop. You know that song of stop, drop, and roll. I know that's a Gen Z thing, but make sure you stop, check if it's true, and then forward it to your peers or to your family members. So we are in that point where AI is really raising our children. And some parents can come and ask me, when will AI arrive? You know, some parents even don't know the vastness of AI and how it has come to be and how it's helping even their kids. So they ask a simple question as when will AI arrive? And usually the answer is make sure that you walk the child through and through in whatever they're doing. So in the morning, when they ask maybe for a question on their homework that they didn't answer, make sure you're there. When something for your kids, make sure you're there and you are trying to show your kids what kind of information is good and not good. And you can custom your your algorithm for your kids so that they don't get to watch things that you have not decided for them. So we have come to a point where all this information, and when we give our kids and our teenagers the phones, um, we are not training them anymore. The phones are the one training them. The phones are the one training them because when they see something online that talks about when you wake up you need to do skincare, then that's what they believe. They believe that the only way you can be a normal girl or a normal teenager is by maybe waking up and doing skincare, and they start demanding for skincare products because now the algorithm has already pushed those products in the algorithm. So you need to be there when your kids are doing every single thing. Now, I want to ask something that's very uncomfortable to most parents. And the question is usually, how much time do you spend with your kids and understand what they're doing or what is being suggested in their feed before maybe they go to bed? Or does it affect the decisions that they're going to make on a daily or whatever they are doing? So we are not trying to blame parents at this point. What we are trying to talk to you about is you need to be there and understand what these kids are actually watching. And you need to start taking responsibilities because when you are asking when is AI going to come, these kids have already gone vast and even are building so many things. There are many kids that are building also so many different solutions on those platforms, and there are kids who are being destroyed by the platform because they're like, I feel sad and I want to commit suicide. How will I commit suicide? Understand? So the only way we can do this is to make sure that you are with your kids 24/7. What do they spend watching? What are they doing? What kind of platforms are they using? If there's any platform that if you use to stop your kids from maybe listening to certain kind of things, make sure you do so. So let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the WhatsApp. WhatsApp is usually something that we often usually have or usually use every single day. It's either you have a family group where you have your extended family in, or it's a group of where you have your church friends and you have your pastor sending you scriptures in that WhatsApp group. We have even school WhatsApp groups. Just recently, I just realized that one of the teenagers in my house actually has an email and they do Google Meet. She's just 12, and you're wondering how are they allowed to even use phones? In my days, it was really hard even to get a smartphone. You used to get a smartphone when you're in class 8. So they even used in schools. So if you're a mama or you are someone who's into chamas, you always have something going on in the chama. You also have WhatsApp groups for maybe your estate or where you work. This is something that you can send a quick message very fast. So now imagine in that platform where everybody's sending information, or where your child can also send a quick urgent message, I need 500 shillings. Now imagine just someone sending an information in one of those groups, and someone says, urgent, all banks are closing tomorrow, we withdraw money immediately, forward to everyone. Now imagine that kind of situation. You haven't even confirmed if it's true or not true, but now the only thing that you know is this information is being spread and it might be true. So we're just going to use that concept, the Gen Z concept of stop, drop, and roll. So the idea is to get this kind of information, sit down, relax, and call maybe someone who works in a bank. Or you might have a neighbor who's working in a bank and they tell you, no, there's nothing like that is supposed to happen. So the first thing somebody might do is go to withdraw that money. So some people would panic, some people would rush to the ATM, others maybe would forward it to help others. And within maybe a few minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, this message has already gotten to the neighborhood, it has gotten to maybe a workplace, and maybe this information is not true. So technology makes information spread very easily without us stopping and understanding this information is true or not true. So AI can make false information look very convincing. We can talk about such messages, but now imagine someone sends you a message of your daughter in in a place that you've never seen her before, or maybe there's usually these pranks that are usually done on TikTok where your kid sends you a photo that they have been injured and it was just AI generated. Now imagine you didn't have this awareness of how does AI work, or what level of AI is today that our kids can be able to use it, or what level of deception can AI bring into my family, and how can I stop it? So, what we can talk about right now is, before forwarding any message, any urgent message, or any presidential message that comes in your WhatsApp messages, as I said, we can use that principle of stop, drop, and roll like the Gen Zs, or in simple words, what we can do is just pause, think, verify if the information is true, and then share, which comes to our main program. So those are 4 words that will protect the community. Pause, think, don't rush. Pause, think, verify, and make sure you share if it's beneficial to your community. Only share if you verify the information is true. So um, we are in that period where elections is coming, and I needed to talk about this because why does this matter before the elections come? So as we are approaching elections, the election seasons, emotions are going to become very stronger, and people maybe will be hopeful. Some will be very concerned about certain information. Some will be very passionate about whatever is going on. Some will be I mean, very protective with their communities, and we don't want to have the 207 situation happen again while we are still here. So the only way we can have this is making sure that we understand how misinformation comes to be. So when we are at our vulnerable situation, this is where misinformation can spread very fast. Now imagine the results are not even out, and somebody has sent an AI generated message of a news anchor who has mentioned that this is the person who has won in the election. Now imagine the rage if it's not someone you had hoped for, or if it's somebody you had not thought of. Now imagine sharing to the people that are next to you. And we have so many groups that have more than 500 people, 1,000 people. Imagine sharing to more and more people. Information right now just goes so fast. Now imagine receiving a video of maybe a politician that has done something violent. And it's a politician that you really wanted to vote for. and maybe it's an opposite party that has made that video so that they can lose the those voting points. What I'm trying to say is we are in that situation where we need to understand that this can come to be, and you might see all these images and videos that are coming in. Make sure you pause and understand if this information is true or not true. Make sure you verify so that you can share if it's an information that's worth sharing. So you can also hear maybe different voices of some a politician that you know that's making a very shocking statement, and somebody will tell you, I had a call with him recently and he said this, and maybe it's just AI generated. So you haven't even looked into if that video is old, or if that video is, or if his voice is cloned, or the speech was generated by AI. We need to understand that these are possible capabilities that happen while we are sharing information, or when people are using AI. So digital safety is not about politics. It's not about a lot of propaganda about politics. What we're trying to do with digital safety is making sure that we protect the peace of not only families but also communities and villages that we have worked so hard from 207 to make sure that it remains safe, not only for our kids but also for our family members, because we don't want that repeating again. So we want to protect our families from any kind of fear, from any kind of confusion. Now, let's talk about what kind of parent are you in the digital world? Just go to the next slide. So you can try and raise your hand. So show me some emojis if you're still here with me. Amazing. Okay, now I want you to raise your hand if you usually verify an information before you actually forward it. Maybe you have seen a recruitment message of maybe a workplace, and you know your kid really needs work, and then you push it. Maybe you push it to your extended family. How many of you usually verify the information before you forward it? I'm really hoping you do. So, how many of you in every app that your children use, you usually check in whatever they're doing, or you know every single app that your kid usually uses and why they usually use it, why they are usually using it. Okay, so I'm hoping everybody will start a routine to make sure that they verify information, make sure they make sure they monitor their children. What apps are they using? How are they using it? And why are they using it? Make sure you understand if whatever information or images that are being sent to you, if it's true or not true. So when you have family conversations about internet safety or digital safety, you notice something. Most of the people haven't had their hands raised. Why? Because most of the time when you get such information, you're really in a rush and in a hurry to make sure to send that information to someone so that ifikie watu wengi haraka haraka. Also, something else we can notice is that not everybody their hand is raised. So we are in that state where misinformation can thrive really fast because we are not verifying information before we forward it or share it. And this is not things that we learned growing maybe in schools or in different learning curriculums that we had. These are things that are coming up, and we need to reskill and relearn whatever we knew about technology and try to learn the new thing about technology. What is this AI? How is it doing? And that's how you become a responsible digital parent. Understand everything that's going around you before you share it. So I'm almost done. So for many years, parenting usually sounded like put that phone away, stop using the internet. The internet is bad. Technology is usually dangerous. These are the kind of things that we grew into. But you see, in today's children, they live in the digital world. As I said, the 12-year-olds around the house, and they have an email, a school email, where they do online meetings. Imagine, they do online meetings. Online meetings, as we saw in campus. We didn't do even online meetings when we were in in high school. You know, these are the kind of things that technology is coming so fast, and we need to keep up. You can't just shy away from giving your children phones because they need to keep up with the technology and they need to understand what the new world has to offer. So all these digital devices, they're part of work, they're part of school, they're part of businesses, they're part of every communication that we usually do on a daily. So instead of controlling what devices that you're actually using, let's choose the conversation. So instead of fearing of what the gadgets or the technology is going to do to them, let's choose curiosity. So with curiosity, we believe that everything can be used moderately and it can also be used measurably. So what I mean is we can choose to verify information, which is good. It's a good culture we created in our house. So instead of saying don't use those devices, don't use your phone, don't use your laptop, don't use the internet, what we do is we give them and then they can use it responsibly by creating a culture around the house. So we raise children who are adaptable to the new innovation, but also they have a culture where they know instead of doom scrolling, I can maybe read an article, I can read a book. After this, I can do this. Create a system in your family where you don't let them shy away from using these technologies. So I was talking about awareness and why you really need it. So we have discovered that our phones are the front doors, and AI and the algorithm might be the stranger that just comes in without you noticing, and they just come dine with you, and you don't know um, what kind of information are they giving, or what kind of damage are they bringing to our kids or our families. So families should be a first line of defense, and what I mean is making sure that our communities and families are aware, and awareness is one of our greatest protection methods. Being aware and making sure that awareness is not the only thing that you have. So, the next question I think I would ask is what practical steps can we start tonight apart from being aware? What practical steps can we start doing tonight? And also, how do we protect our devices? How do we protect our kids? How do we protect our money? How do we protect our privacy, our kids' privacy? Because these are the kind of information that have been taken online, our identities. And with these questions, Michael is going to show us how exactly we're going to protect ourselves, our kids, our money, our privacy, and our devices. And so please stay with us and make sure that you learn everything step by step. And at least you've learned why this matters. And now the next step is to make sure you understand how to put it into practice. And next up is our speaker who's going to uh, tell us more on the practicals of how can we protect ourselves, how can we protect our kids, how can we practically protect our privacy online, and not putting awareness as the only lock or the only security that we have. So next up, I am going to welcome Michael Miche, who's going to cover the practical steps you need to have as a parent or as a kid or as a teenager to make sure you protect yourself online. So I'm going to welcome Michael. Hello, Michael. So if you have any questions, make sure you throw it in the chat and we will be able to answer every question that you really need. So one question before Michael comes is what one digital safety lesson every child should learn today? I hope Michael is still around.
Yes, I am.
Amazing. So over to you. Tell us the practical steps of how we can stay safe online and not only be aware and making sure that we are safe and our parents are safe and our extended families are safe and everyone is safe in our communities. So over to you, Michael.
Okay, thank you so much, Shifra. Good evening again to everyone. Let me just move forward on a few slides here. So I think has covered a lot of this, but let me just do a quick summary. We're going to look at how to set safe devices, how to verify suspicious content, which has already been covered, how to respond to harm, and how to build family habits that ensure digital safety and trust. See if I have control of the slides. Don't know, could I get control of the slides? I'd like to move them. Okay. Just very quickly on this one, I guess we've spoken. Yes, here we are. The Kenya. Look at the risk map. So we have WhatsApp groups where a lot of misinformation can be communicated, attempts for fundraising, um, and a few other malicious attempts that could also spread rumors. We have social media platforms where we have the risk of cyberbullying, grooming, fake accounts, sexual extortion, harmful trends, and impersonation. And then we have government style services, fake citizen, KRA, NSSF, NHIF, SHA links for data harvesting or fake job adverts as well, all used for data harvesting that can then be used for impersonation or identity theft. The other risks we are looking at is the M-Pesa and mobile money, very common ways that people have been defrauded by fake reversal messages, wrong number scams for sending money, the urgent request, and swim swap attempts. Then we have this schools and county links, fake businesses, scholarships, opportunities, exam results, payment processed, payment secured, and anything to do with money that has come into your account. I think we've all once at one point received the Western Union link that money is in your account and you need to follow a certain link. Then you have AI media, cloned voices, deepfake videos, deepfake screenshots and images, and edited audios. You can move to the next slide, please. So on online safety in the household, what we call the online safety household operating system, we have people, we have rules, we have routines and response. People, these are everyone within your home, the child, the parents, guardian, whoever who you're living with, and the accounts that they have on various platforms. And this even extends to the devices in your house, the TV, smart devices, laptops, tablets, all those devices. Rules, what is allowed, what is not allowed, The tools, in this case, tools that can improve family security while online, such as Family Link, screen time on Family Link for Android, screen time for iOS, Microsoft Family Safety, YouTube Kids, password managers, and a bunch of other tools will cover. Routine, weekly device checks to ensure that devices don't have any malware, spyware, or anything that could be taking data away or unpermitted content, as well as just ensuring common routines that ensure that act as safeguards or telltale signs that you're actually communicating to the right person within your household. And then finally, response. Who do you call when an incident has happened? How do you react when some of these safeguards have failed? What is the response pattern? So if starting with the family, we start with the digital inventory of devices, accounts, applications, contacts, and risks. So devices, we take account of all the devices within the household that people are using, the phones, tablets, laptops, gaming consoles, smart TVs, shared any shared cyber cafe access within the neighborhood. All of that constitutes what you'd want to call as devices. Accounts, this is both the child accounts or adult accounts, just being able to take inventory of those, know where all accounts are, which devices they're logged into, do they have passwords, are they open to everyone, do they require age restrictions, the apps, what apps are being used, YouTube, TikTok, WhatsApp, video games that kids are playing online, the likes of Fortnite, Call of Duty, and etc. Minecraft, there are lots of games, Roblox, browsers, Chrome browser, Edge, Brave, Opera, Firefox. There are quite a list of them. Photos apps. Are using the default phone ones, or are you downloading a secondary app, and what are the risks around that? AI chatbots that are being used, are they default to the device? Are they downloaded? Are they clones of other applications that may steal personal information? And then contacts. Who can manage these devices? Family, who can message the family, so family, classmates, friends, other people online across social media. And then finally, always having risks as part of the inventory. Given your initial inventory of discovering your devices, your accounts, your apps, and your contacts, you then proceed to come up with a very quick exercises of now trying to determine what are some of your risks. Unknown contacts calling, and obviously that can obviously hard to control that. Late night use of devices, secret apps that have been installed, and probably requests to buy apps as well. A good exercise to try is look at every device and then classify them as green, amber, or red. Green is an understanding of that everything is safe. Amber could need some work. Red is it's unknown or is classified as a high risk. So when we're looking at children, quickly just look at the various age groups. 0 to 7, we're looking at the risks involved here. Unsafe videos, ads, accidental purchases, exposure to adult content. And if you're looking at protection, parent-held accounts. So for example, YouTube Kids requires approval of content to be shown. No browsers are left open, or no unsupervised chats, or no unsupervised use of devices. Some of the protection mechanisms. Children between 8 to 12, risks that added on alongside the 0 to 7, we have Video games, a lot of those online games, you get to play with strangers online. So there's the risk that some of these strangers cyber bullies or grooming them. Um, Sharing of photos, children may share photos between themselves, and that could expose them to bullying. The photos could leak or find themselves on public social media platforms, or can even be used to create deep fakes. We have fake prizes, and at this age, secret accounts also become a risk. A lot of children start creating pseudo accounts on certain devices. Protection, similar to what we had before, but you can now also add child accounts, app approval for downloads, screen time scheduled, ask before you download, and just having a weekly check-in with your child to just understand what they're doing online, what tools they're using, what tools they need, what they're exchanging, and the type of communication they're having. Then finally, we have 13 to 18. Here, the risks include sextortion, which is extortion for them to perform sexual acts, impersonation, peer pressure, late night chats when there's little supervision available, misinformation, and misuse of AI. Protection could include negotiated rules. Obviously, they're getting older, and you probably want to allow them a bit more freedom, but an understanding of negotiated rules, understanding of privacy settings that they need to use, reporting skills. How do they report any form of harm over the internet? And then money verification and no secret meeting rule. Basically, whether online or digitally, online or physically, should not have any secret meetings without the parent or guardians know-how. So warning signs to watch out for without overreaching when it comes to children: cyberbullying, the sudden withdrawal, fear of school, deleting of chat messages, anger after notifications appear on their phones, or refusal to explain any online conflict that's going on, likely a case of cyberbullying. Um, Certain signs for grooming, this include sensitive new friends, requests to move to private chat, or pressure not to tell parents. So this will be a sign that someone is trying to groom the child. Sextortion, we have fear, shame, threats, urgent demand for money, and issue around blackmail around photos, scam exposure, child asks for M-Pesa or tries to hide certain payments or clicks on links for prizes to install unknown applications on various of the devices. Also worth noting, obviously, the first thing to do is always to stay calm and not to take the action of punishing the child, but correcting the error. So what data is actually exposed for our family? So child's name, their school, their uniform, their location, birthdays, parents' name, the house estate, church or mosque or wherever you go to worship, the route to school, ID numbers, birth certificates, report forms, admission letters, phone numbers, M-Pesa names, quite a lot of information that's person identifiable, voice notes and family photos that can be used to train impression scams. There was actually a case in the UK where a school had posted a win of a sports day, and they posted the trophy and they put it on their Facebook page. And it was a trophy with the children celebrating. What had happened after that is scammers and other malicious actors took those photos using artificial intelligence, then started undressing the children and sending these photos to the families, threatening to leak them unless they were paid. So also even speaking to schools about consent, about whether the child's photos can be posted or not on social media platforms, given that sometimes schools and other institutions that we are part of do have public social media accounts and may want to post those photos. Some things to do: turn off public location tagging on family posts, avoid posting uniforms, school gates, car plates, and landmarks around your home. Blur children's documents before sharing. You may want to share the results slip for your child. It's best to just blur their details and just maybe show the grades and the subjects. Using uh, private profiles, just so that whoever who sees are people who you know, and then teaching the children about privacy and data. So 30-second quick verification routine that can always be done. Acronym is STOP, which stands for source, time, original, and proof. Source: whenever any information comes on any platform, just first questions to ask: who sent it? Is it a known person? Is it someone you trust? If it's also a forward, is it someone they trust? Just being able to verify the source. Time: is it current? Is it old? Is it also the time that it's been sent? Is it during a time where information is spreading quite quickly, or is it just at a period where things are moving slowly? Can also help you determine whether it could be a scam or not. Um, Original: can you find the original source? Is it from a school website? Is it from an agency? Is it from a verified government? Is it like from a government news? Can you trace the origins of it? And then proof: does it ask for money? Does it ask for money, data, urgency, or secrecy? That clearly is a red flag, especially when you see urgency, which is a means that is used even on emails, trying to get people to pay for activities quite quickly, being told there's a 50% discount, hurry up now, there's only 3 more hours left to go. So such are also used online for digital harm. So how to verify a viral WhatsApp message? Basically, steps you could take: click on the link so that you can see the full length of the link, depending on the device that you have. Does the domain look like something you know? For example, if it's the name of the school, if your school uses .co.ke, why is it now using .com or .edu or something different? Using fact checkers. Would use fact checkers such as Google Fact Checker Explorer, Africa Check, Pesa Check for other facts, and just where you have public data, you could always search online. Then we have searching the claim, so going online and just taking your time to verify. Call independently. If this was a case where you've received this information from a number you don't know, claiming to be someone else or claiming to be someone that you know, call the actual person who you know to verify that it's them reaching out to you with an unknown contact. And then obviously never enter ID numbers, birth certificate, M-Pesa PIN, passwords, or OTPs because a forward has asked you to. Also, when you're also attempting to, for example, you receive a forward to win a coupon, look at the amount of data it's trying to collect. It may be asking you for your phone number, your name, and email address, series of personal identifiable information that can help build your identity and even perform what we call identity theft. So is it really worth that risk just to get maybe a certain coupon? So also check how much you're sacrificing in terms of data, even with verified sources. With images and videos, what can you do to verify? The reverse image search, Google has a reverse image search that allows you to put an image into it and it'll do a search to determine the origin of that particular image. With videos, there are certain tools like We Verify that can help you look at the video and mention and just verify that it is actually genuine. YouTube checks. YouTube does try to automatically check whether content being uploaded is AI generated. If it is flagged as such. A lot of platforms now do attempt to add that watermark, so that can obviously be a good check. The provenance check, using credentials to verify whether just sorry use checking for content credentials, just verifying the source of some of these items. So before sharing a breaking news post or video, check whether the same clip appeared years earlier. So Google image reverse search can help you with that, or it's something that appeared in another place. Google reverse image search would be quite powerful for that, and some of these other tools where you can plug in the data. Google also has for video and image content a tool that checks whether this content was actually generated by certain AI models, which they have access to, as well as their own. So it will also help you know whether this content is real or fake. So for deepfakes and especially around voice, there's always red flags, unusual urgency. You have been told it's an emergency, something has happened. There are two times when emergencies do occur, so you have to, I guess, first response is always to be cautious. They refuse a video call back. So if they're calling you and you're like, can I call you back or can I do a video call? If they're refusing, that is obviously suspicious. The sound sounds close, but emotionally flat. This is as a result to some AI models being trained on very limited local data in country for Kenya and Africa. And as a result, even when they do speak the language, the AI feels very flat. So you can tell there's a lack of emotion. And then the odd pauses and background noises. Most AI models won't have the arms as within their speech, but they'll have awkward pauses where the content could be buffering on their side before it's transmitted over to your side. So that could be an indicator as well. Or they ask for certain information that you may find to be suspicious: OTPs, M-Pesa, ID, things that you're normally not asked for by the person who you think is calling you. Verification tools, a family code word is a good way to go. Having a code word that's known to the family, that's secret to the family, whenever you feel there's a lack of trust between your interactions with someone online, and you think they're impersonating someone within the family, you could start, maybe actually even have a code phrase where you start half the sentence and someone has to finish the other half, or mentioning the code word triggers them to mention another code word to verify themselves. So that's very important. Call back to the saved number. Someone is calling you from an unknown number telling you that they need money urgently, they've been in an accident. Call the actual number, verify it's them. It could just be a deep fake of their voice. Video call and request for live action. There are scams where video calls have been used. I think one was used in Hong Kong to get a banker to transfer, I think what was over $100 million. So in this case, just calling and asking them, oh, raise your hand, do certain things, move this way, move that way, just so that you could see whether it's actually an AI or it's the actual person. Excuse me. Then using the various tools you mentioned around the content credentials for verification. And then we have other deepfake tools that we'll cover in a few other slides and will be shared as part of the content, links to some of these tools that you could be using. Also creating family rules is a good way to also go. So no urgent money requests without the code word, no sharing of OTPs to anyone, do not pay out to any new numbers, avoiding do not tell mom or do not tell dad requests immediately. Children should hear that they shouldn't tell a parent, a guardian, or an adult about certain communications. That should be a red flag. So having that as a rule that if any communication leads to do not tell, that communication needs to be cut off. Screenshot and call another trusted adult in case you find anything suspicious. Next slide, please. Could we go back one more? Just want to cover. Yes. So how to get a family code word or code phrase. Choose a word or phrase that is memorable, not public, not birthdays, not school names, not pets, not where you live, something very personal to the family that only the family would know. Just being able to remember the code word, that's how to store it, or having it stored on someone's phone in case there's a need for them. It's a long phrase they can't remember. When do you use the code word or code phrase? Whenever there's an emergency and you need to verify certain behaviors or certain requests, and then escalate. If someone fails the code word or code phrase, escalate it upwards, let the family know, and at that point, maybe even change the code word or code phrase. M-Pesa and money requests. Very quickly, I think this has been touched on, so I'll touch over this a bit quickly. So what to look out for: I sent money to the wrong number, can you reverse it? My phone is off, please send money to this number, pay school fees by this time, the teacher wants me to buy new books, give me the OTP to confirm transactions, ATM withdrawal where you're told to enter a certain code on your phone and share the resulting code that you receive after that. Your line will be blocked or your SIM will be disabled unless you verify yourself. Those are some popular ones, and I'm sure we've all received quite a bunch of them on SMS or even on phone calls over the past few years. And so things to do or things to look out for: never share any password, OTP, SIM registration data. Call saved contacts, do not trust numbers inside the message. So you're receiving a message, someone saying they're from Safaricom and they're giving you a number to call. Always just call the dedicated number for whichever service that you're dealing with, as opposed to a number that you're given. Check recipient name before sending money. Obviously, very common one that we've been taught. And then use of the family code word or phrase when something urgent has been requested for. For reversal or disputes, ask the people to use the official channels of the mobile service provider, the bank, telco, or whoever platform that they were using. Quickly on this one, we'll just speak on, obviously we've seen the fake job ads, fake bursary, fake exam links, and government style forms for where they're requesting you to provide information. Most of these are an attempt to collect information so that they can then move on to stealing your identity, or even just building pseudo accounts and creating a fake digital copy of you. So it's always good to watch out of those. Remember, check the links, look for official sites, check the official sites, not just the link you've received. If you've been told, click on this link to get this job, you've been selected, but you know you didn't apply, and they've mentioned the company name, go online, on your browser to check if that company is actually recruiting. Yeah, can move on to the next slide. So Linda, which is then the stage 3, which is the protection part. So how do you protect? So protection usually comes first, I guess, in terms of your defenses. And of course, I think internally, first thing to do, password managers, if that is required. You don't want to have the same password for everything. So you could use password managers, like some of the ones displayed on screen, iCloud Keychain, Google Password Manager, One Password, and a few others out there. Do not obviously put your passwords written out somewhere. Do not share passwords. Do not use the same password for everything. Two-factor authentication. You may want to create two-factor authentication on email, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok. If you create an account for your child on one of these platforms, you would want the OTP to come to you so that you know they're trying to log in from a different device, maybe the device that you've put them on. You've enabled parental control, and now they've decided to log on to Instagram on another device where it's less restrictive. You would then be able to refuse because of that two-factor authentication request. Recovery controls, just to ensure that you can get any data back that could be stolen or that could have been encrypted. SIM and device lock. Screen locks are obviously important for the adults to ensure that their children don't get access to the phone, where there are probably less restrictions on the adult devices. Biometrics could be a good way to go for adults because children will be able to see the password. Again, also for restricted apps, ensuring that those are locked as well, so the children don't have access to those. For SIM card, to avoid SIM swap, the obviously moving to the eSIM does help as well. There's also a USSD code shared by Safaricom that allows you to, that only your SIM can only be swapped in your presence and you carrying your national ID. Next, yeah. Okay, so how to set up some of the child safety precautions that you could take on devices. For Android devices, the Google Family Link allows you to set screen time, how many hours are allowed when the device shuts off to prevent applications from continuous use. You can approve or block certain apps. You can manage the Play Store, which is very helpful, so you even restrict what they can search for online, and then location features to know where these devices are. For the Android, for iPhone and the Apple ecosystem, they have the Apple screen time, app limits, downtimes, web content restrictions, and communication limits, as well as other privacy restrictions. For Windows and Xbox, as well as PlayStation, they have the Microsoft family, obviously Xbox and Windows, but PlayStation also has its own parental controls. Additional ones, I think recently we saw that a bracelet or some sort of key fob or a tag that can be used by parents when children are moving about between school and home. So some of those could also be useful. One of them that I know is called an Explorer Watch, which allows the child to call 2 emergency contacts, either via internet or via actual regular cellular phone, but also is enabled to show that the child is moving on a safe route or on a risky route. So you define the route the child should use. If the child is outside the school or outside home, then the device can alert the guardian accordingly. Then safer settings for daily apps on WhatsApp. Obviously turn on two-step verification. Hide your profile picture and status from non-contacts. Block or report any harmful contacts or messages that you receive. Disabling auto-download from unknown groups or just auto-download in general. For TikTok and Instagram, private account for minors that are managed by parents. Limiting access for children to DM and comments. Restriction tags are also useful in some of these applications. Use time limits to prevent them from spending too much time on the applications. For YouTube, obviously using YouTube Kids allows them to have a supervised profile of what they get and can approve content according to age. And then for games and chats, disabling voice chat with strangers for younger children. So children are only allowed to have the same friends that they know in their schools, in their neighborhoods, and they're playing online games are the only ones who can chat to them or communicate them on voice. No use of real names, schools, or locations or photos while playing these video games. So they use pseudonyms so that no one could identify them. Obviously, they're not sharing information. No gifts or skins from unknown adults or unknown users of any kind. Everything has to stay within that controlled friend group. And then reporting of bullying and grooming immediately. So children should be encouraged when they're playing games online or they're on a chat platform and they feel there's a stranger out there who may be bullying them or grooming them towards certain harmful acts, that they should be safe enough to report. So what are some of the safer apps kids can use? YouTube Kids, the Khan Academy for Kids, Booksmart, Apple Screen Time that we've mentioned, Google Family Link is also very good, and then Scratch Junior. So these are just alternatives to some of the other apps out there. Obviously, also restricting the download of unknown tools also goes a long way. So then we have the prevention and response to cyberbullying, traits that you want to build. Do not pile on, mock, repost, or record any posts that are harmful or malicious or humiliating to other people. No creation of fake accounts to attack other accounts. Do not forward private screenshots, even if it's just for laughs. And then obviously practice digital courage, which is just ensuring that if there's something wrong, just let it be known. And then a response routine that can be taken up very easily. Do not delete evidence immediately. Take a screenshot, get the link, date and time. You may need this to report them to authorities. You may need this to launch a complaint on the service provider's platform. Block and report on the platform suspicious accounts. Informing the school where maybe the classmates are involved. Calling the child safety numbers. And escalating to police or other bodies for safety and security, where maybe extortion or threats or sexual exploitation may be appear. So grooming, how to just spot some of the acts around grooming and sextortion. Red flags, adults older than teens asked to move to a private chat. So maybe they've discovered a friend online and they're asking they want to move to a private chat. That should be a concerning flag. Gifts being sent with strings attached, request for photos or video calls in secrecy. Threats, maybe threats that they will post certain content that have been previously shared unless they pay more money or they send more posts. And then pressure to meet offline or to hide the relationship are all flags of grooming and sextortion. In terms of the action plans that can be taken, reassure the child. So just reassuring the child, stop replying to to blackmailers. Sometimes the blackmailers are just playing on the fear that you think something may be exposed and they actually don't even have anything to blackmail you on, which is a common trend, especially around emails that purport to have your photos or purport to have some information about you and request you to pay. And then preserve screenshots that you may want to use as evidence, report on the app and to local authorities, obviously seek counseling where support may be needed. So misinformation rules, do not forward fast. So just avoid, uh, again, avoid sharing weight, check, ask who it benefits, if it's spread, no screenshots as proof. Screenshots are not always proof because they can be edited quite easily. So proof has to be searching on the internet to verify the source of the information, using trusted sources, whether it's media outlets, not just links that go to any page on social media. Correcting gently. So whenever things are shared in the groups, best to always correct the person who's shared gently. Do not shame them, because then they will probably just send that to another group that is more trusting of them, and that wouldn't shame them. Then exit toxic spaces. So where you have certain apps that you feel are toxic for you, so maybe leading to the misinformation, disinformation, and other forms of digital harm, just ensure that those are no longer used. So when something goes wrong, what is the kind of response that should be taken? If you're looking at child safety, number one, stabilize. Is the child safe? Was any money at risk? Have accounts been hacked? Um, need to identify where harm has been done, and from after that stage, preserve. Stage two is the preserve. So you're looking at screenshot links, usernames, any form of evidence that you may want uh, to use, please preserve it. Then secure changing of passwords. Maybe your friend or maybe a child had shared access to the account to one of their friends, their device was compromised. So revoking access, enabling two-factor, just adding additional stronger safeguards, and then report. This could be reporting to the platform or to anyone or to the authorities, sorry, to authorities, and then support. So it's always important to not to shame and follow up emotionally and just help the person through that particular situation. Remember, do not delete evidence. It is do not delete the evidence. It's always going to be useful down the line. So quickly here, but this information will also be shared. We have a quick list of where to reach out to publicly when you have issues of cyber incidents, child protection, criminal threats, data misuse, platform abuse, and immediate danger. So feel free to take the screenshot, or you just wait for the data to be shared. When we share not just this data, but a few other toolkits that will be of value to the families. So how do you build a family with digital safety? Well, ask before downloading. So especially for minors, they should be able to ask before they download apps, games, browser extensions, or AI tools. Where this is in the situation where you can't maybe put a limit on the ability to on device to restrict downloads. Verify before paying. We said that a few times over today. We do not hide harm. Very important that they create a safe space where threats of bullying, blackmail, grooming, sextortion, or any form of harmful content must be reported to a trusted adult. Obviously, ensuring that obviously we protect private data, being able to safely share, maybe if you feel like sharing data, but do not sharing your ID number, location, school uniform, photos, M-Pesa, M-Pesa pins and passwords. For those who are very active on social media, where there any identifiable information, you may want to keep them to a very close set of close friends or not to share them at all, so that you can limit the exposure significantly. Then lastly, and very important, we repair, we do not punish. It's a good thing to have at home to ensure that you repair whenever any harm is done. The effort that goes in is to repair, not to punish the child. Then there'll also be a template shared for this as well, but I can quickly go through this, which is a 7-day safety action plan that you can take. As we mentioned, the inventory of devices and apps, that's day one. How many devices do you have at home? How many apps are on those devices? How many of them have access to the internet? Day two, a creation of child accounts and controls. Just to prevent children from accessing any harmful content that is not age appropriate for them, and turning on two-factor authentication on most of your communication platforms. Then day four, creating a code word or phrase. Day five, one of the busier ones, is reviewing privacy settings and public posts that you have. Day six, practice verification. Practice your verification using one viral message just to ensure that you've captured everything between day one and day five. And then day seven, saving the reporting contacts that are needed between adults for various items, whether it's local authorities or the platforms. Day five, which I mentioned, is sort of one of the heavier ones. There are tools out there that are being developed or have been developed to support just improve and verify privacy settings for individuals, for individual accounts. So you may have maybe 15 accounts and it feels like an impossibility. There are tools out there to support. Some of those tools will be shared online, will be shared as part of the content that you'll be receiving. So it's supposed to be a live demo, but I can't connect my phone at the moment. But part of the tools that you will receive will allow you, I think, very quickly, for those who want to do the WhatsApp two-step verification. The process is right there on screen. Going to the settings, to your accounts, security, and then clicking on two-step verification, creating a PIN and a recovery email as well. Reverse image search, just simply by using Google Lens or pasting the image into Google search, should allow you to verify that. The family link and screen time from either Google or Apple, it can be quickly set up, which was part of, I think, day 3 or day 4 of the exercise. And then the inspection of a suspicious link, there'll be a link. For example, VirusTotal allows you to paste links into their URL search to verify if those URLs are safe to visit. Then set a YouTube Kids profile, especially for kids under 7 years or 8 years, so that, and choosing the age level and approving what content they get there. Then practicing the code drill repeatedly is also something that you should practice as well. So part of what will be shared in the post-session toolkit, the family digital safety plan, so which was what we just covered, under the devices, the 7-day plan, actually. So we'll share a detailed toolkit on how to achieve that. AI family emergency verification guide, code words, and the search. Samples will be shared. Obviously, do not use the samples, they're just for example purposes. Cyberbullying and grooming, we mentioned what kind of flags we want to see. The preservation of evidence is also very important. And then for the household scams and fake message guides, we've spoken about them, the fake M-Pesa ones that are very common in Kenya. Then child online safety conversation guide, there'll be age-appropriate questions that can be asked, and trust building scripts, which ideally you would want to modify based off of your relationship with the child or the minor to ensure that the message does get to them. And then we'll have a one-page household reminder that you could stick on the fridge. Just a quick poster that we'll share that can be downloaded, printed. You could have it on the fridge. You could have it turned into a fridge magnet, or have it as a wallpaper somewhere, just so that the repetition of seeing what should be done and how and what steps to take if something goes wrong can help protect families better. So thank you very much. Come to the end of my presentation. Remember, do not panic, verify, protect each other, report harm early, and keep learning and growing together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. I think we're going to take in some few Q&As. And also feedback from the people. If you have any questions, you can fire them in the chat. Um, so we have this series. We have 4 series coming in. This was the first one for families. So next up, we will be having another, which will happen on the 26th. Let me just do this. So make sure you're checking on my screen, so you could scan the QR code and register the seniors in your family or the elderly in your family, so that they can get more information on how they can stay safe online. Um, just a quick one. I'm going to have it on for 5 seconds just to let people uh, bring up their questions. We will also be having another on the 29th, coming right up. So on the 29th, we'll be focusing on the youth and the students in the universities. So please, if you have a youth or a student in the university who would like to attend this session, make sure they can scan the QR code. I'm just going to be moving because the session is recorded and you can be able to rewatch it. And on the 30th, we will have the Digital and AI Awareness Masterclass for people with disabilities, um, to make sure it's inclusive for everyone, which will happen on the 30th. So please scan the QR code above. Amazing. So if you would like to contribute and speak on one of these sessions, you could always scan that QR code and fill that form, and someone will get back to you with whatever details that you need. How do you want to contribute, and how do you want to support this initiative that we have started? So, any questions? I'm hoping there are questions as I continue to to drop the. Let me see. It's amazing. Michael, we have a question here. So the question is from, I think we can do that. That's way simpler. From Viola. So Viola has two questions. How can parents and guardians help young people stay safe online without invading their privacy? Should kids have privacy? Okay. Also, the second question is how do you balance convenience and security with everyday digital activities? So I can answer one, and then Michael is going to answer the other. Um, so personally, I don't believe there should be a really big privacy gap between the parent and the child. There should be an understanding, and you should be able to get to know the ins and outs of whatever is happening in their life. So the only way to have this is to make sure you have a very healthy relationship with your kid in a place where they can be able to tell you anything. Well, they have the freedom that they require. Now, with that, they can be able to tell you what they have been facing or what has been bothering them, or maybe who has cyberbullied them, or what they actually need, or if they felt any stigmatization either in classes or in the community, they could be able to tell you. And it's easier when you have that open conversation with your kids because you can be able to guide them and in what is right and what is wrong. So that's on a personal level. I think kids should not have privacy. Why are they having privacy in a very young age? But that's what I think. There should be an open conversation between the parent and the kid. Do you have a different view, Michael?
No, not a different view, but I think you're right. I think trust is actually something stronger to build with children. I guess the question, should children have privacy, is a question of trust more than the whole concept of privacy. Eventually, as they get older, if they will start having the need for privacy. So how do you build trust that even maybe even want it when they're much older, that they can still come to you about some of these issues? So I think building trust is probably the core thing to focus on.
Very true. So the second question is how do you balance convenience and security? I think the answer I would give is creating culture like creating culture in your families, knowing that there are different sites if you didn't visit. Like for example, I live in a very religious family, and there are different stations, the televisions, and I can't put on. So I think that kind of culture is the same culture that we need to create for a secure and a day-to-day life where kids know what is needed by their parents or from their parents and how do they go about it. And I think I would maybe quote a scripture. It says, train up a child in the way he should grow, and they shall not depart from it. So the thing is, make sure you create a culture that once they are older, it's harder to depart from it. Like the same way you can tell them you shouldn't put socks here, you should put it here. They will grow older, they have their own houses, and they feel like socks are not supposed to be put there, they're supposed to be put somewhere else. That's what I would suggest. So I think, Michael, you have maybe an answer on that.
I would say, depending on the kind of life that you're living, if you're a public figure, there's what you want to expose, which is avoid then exposing sensitive information. If that information is out there online, does it bring you value, and at what cost? I think that's a very important question to ask. If you have a private account and a private social accounts, then you're considering, what am I posting? Do you trust the people that if you post maybe a picture of your newborn, do you expect it to be screenshot and you find it in a WhatsApp group that you're a member of, someone saying, we need to congratulate Meshi, he was a newborn, and you're wondering, huh? I only put as a close friends to 10 people, it's left one platform, going to another platform. So I think that balance is just in what you post and what you intend. What's your intention for posting? If you just want to show grades, hide the name, hide the class, hide the school, show the grades. The other information is not necessary. So I think that's just how to approach it.
Oh, I see a question that you would like here. Um, in the detection of his roadblocks game account. Okay, I think it's tied to the first question. Um, how to like prevent or know like their search history. I usually see him mostly on laptop. Also, the de- the the deletion of his Roblox game account on social media account if he's usually on those sites. I don't
So
know if I've understood that.
yeah, maybe I could go first. I think how to know that they are online again. I think start with the device inventory and the applications. That laptop that they are on, is the account an administrator account? Is it child restricted? If it's not, that's the first thing you should do. Just make whatever that browser should have some restrictions. There are free tools from AVG, Malwarebytes, and a few others that can actually create for you profiles to prevent searching of certain content, even prevention of someone just going to the browser, clicking on history and deleting all of that can be prevented. Even with the Google Family link also does prevent that. Then games such as Roblox and other social media platforms, it's very tough. Roblox has had a fall from grace, especially with its child safety cases recently. It's actually I think over 70,000 predators were caught online. So very shocking statistics. And they had started with quite a lot of safeguards. I remember they would not allow age, they would verify ages, they would only allow children of certain ages to play together. But I guess safety has deteriorated over time. So with such games, if they need to play the games, one, you need to, if the games do not support a parent creating sort of like a guardian account to monitor the child account, maybe it's not time. If you don't trust them, don't set time for them to be there. If they don't know the dangers of maybe being groomed, exploited, and those. So if they are not of that age to understand the risks, don't introduce them to a social media platform or game that has that risk. If the game has preventative measures that require a parent to first have an account so that the child can have an account, and and all everything is sent to the parent's account in terms of how many hours they were playing, who they played with, what are the chats, all those things, then that would be a bit of protection and safety. I always say if you educate them first, that's good. If the game doesn't have child protection and you feel nervous about it, you can go with it. There are so many other games out there other than Roblox that would be safer. And social media again, certain countries have gone as far as even requiring age. I think most recently Australia were the first to
Mm.
pass a nationwide ban on social media for children unless they've turned, I think, 14 or 16. So whether you want to take that approach with your children or you prefer to, build the trust, show them how to use this technology safely. And if so, some of the social media platforms, if they don't have a way of restricting content based off of age or creating parental or guardian controls, I would just recommend to do away with them.
Amazing. Speaking of ages, you had talked about something on ages, which I have a question here. At what age should parents start teaching digital safety, and what topics should be prioritized at different ages?
At the same time, you start teaching them about other forms of safety. I think we are obviously increasingly in a more digital world. So if you're teaching your child how to cross the road safely,
Mhm.
they are coming home to watch TV. You need to tell them, they need to understand maybe not everything they see on TV is real. They need to understand they see something cool on TV. Maybe they see someone playing video games and it looks cool to them. They need
Mhm.
to also understand that some of the dangers and risks. And that's why I think it's important to sort of go with them. For me, practically, I think games that my daughter had been exposed to for most of the time was just chess, games, and they were never online games. In fact, maybe if there's that fear of online games and that the child will always get away, you find offline games that don't require them to have chats and video conversations with other people, and that the games are obviously age appropriate. I think as if your child can operate a digital device, start teaching them digital safety. The same way in the real world, once they start walking, you're always trying to show them how not to fall off the stairs, how to keep their
Sure.
balance. I think you just take the same approach.
That's amazing. I think that was one of the last questions that we had. And I'm hoping hatujafungia mtu. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us on our social media handles as they were shared. I hope they can be shared again. You can reach out to Michael Mishier on his LinkedIn and Instagram. And also, you can reach out to me on both LinkedIn and Instagram to ask any other questions that you would really love to be answered. We have different sessions that are coming in for youths, kids, and also for people with disabilities and also elders. So make sure you keep um, be on the know on what times and when so that you can be at the forefront of the sessions. So thank you so much. I see our time is almost up. I hope you do you have anything to say, one last one to share to our community?
I guess build the trust within the family. Yeah, our program stands. Jua, hakikisha, linda. I think those last three words.
Amazing. Jua hakikisha linda. So put that in your mind and see you again soon. And thank you so much for being in the sessions. Keep the questions coming in either in the comments or either in our DMs. And we love you so much. And please, let's see each other again on the 26th, 29th, and 30th, and more to come. Thank you so much and have a nice time. Bye.
Bye.